Upend the ancient sea and return to old ground.
Heave-ho! Pom-Pom's been cleaning up this whole time and... What? What does the letter say? It looks like an invitation.
Unlikely.
Why don't you show Dan Hong the letter? You know?
What is it? Do you need something? There's no signature, and it doesn't mention a time or place. Looks like whoever sent this expects me to remember. Unfortunately, I'm going to disappoint them. The handwriting does seem like that of a swordmaster, but Blade would have gotten straight to the point. It's an invitation, all right, but this is too mysterious to be him. Let me hold on to the letter. Anything related to Dan Feng's past should be handled with care. Just as I thought, there was more than met the eye. Letting her leave first was a wise choice. I can't put her in danger again because of this. But if he didn't send the letter, then who did? Maybe I should make a trip to the seat of divine foresight. I need to ask Jing Yuan about the Stellaron hunters.
After all this time away from the Luofu, the seat of divine foresight has only become more hostile. Relax. You needn't be so cautious, young man. However, I never thought Jing Yuan would send you to accompany me.
Huh?
I've got my work cut out for me today. Well, if it isn't Dan Hong.
Greetings. I need to speak to the General about something.
Looking for compensation for the injuries I gave you?
That won't be necessary. The Cloud Knights were doing their duty. I should...
You came at a bad time. The General is busy with urgent work.
No. If the general isn't available, I'll come back another day.
You don't remember her? That is Jing Liu, the previous sword champion of the Xianzhou Luofu. She was the closest friend of Imbibitor Lune, your previous incarnation. According to records of wars past, her blade has slain countless denizens of abundance. However, those are ancient stories. With her powers, you'd think there would be no one capable of bringing her in. Her surrender came with one condition: that she be allowed a day of freedom before the trial. Before he left, he ordered us to accompany Jing Liu during her last day on the Luofu.
Imbibitor Lune, you're here. Since you traveled all this way, why don't you come and talk with me? Or should I call you by your name in this lifetime? Dan Heng. When I left the Xianzhou, I heard they took away your scales and horns, for I thought Imbibitor Lune had been wiped from this world.
The life of Imbibitor Lune ended. I stand before you, a completely different person.
I understand. The sins of a past life should be forgiven after rebirth. If my guess is correct, the preceptors were unwilling to allow the Ichor line to end, and hoped for the Imbibitor Lune's resurrection.
You're not here to reminisce on old times. Tell me why you're here.
You didn't hear? That Vidyadhara girl explained it clear as day. I returned to the Luofu so I could surrender myself to the Alliance. I did, however, have one request before the trial. Jing Yuan has always been an understanding person.
So, you're the one that mailed the letter to the Express.
That's right.
The sea's depths conceal no stone, and dragons' breaths reveal the moon. The scenery of Scale Gorge waterscape is truly as magnificent as the poems describe. But as a suspect, shouldn't I be bound and interrogated in the shackling prison? Is it really appropriate to bring me to a place like this?
Holding you in the shackling prison would be more trouble than it's worth. For security purposes, we will be performing your trial here.
For security purposes?
The Stellaron's descent, the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection, the Destruction Emanator's impersonation of the Amicassator. According to the Skyfaring Commission's investigations, you arrived on the Luofu with a group of merchants, but didn't make a single trade during your stay. Your departure coincided with the day the calamities took place. You took advantage of the chaos to sneak into the shackling prison, but seemingly took no course of action. Now you claim that you are responsible for the Stellaron crisis and wish to surrender yourself. Your behavior truly is puzzling. I can't seem to piece together your motive.
I was asked to deliver a token in my capacity as a traveling merchant. I knew nothing of its significance. I admit I did have my own agenda for entering the shackling prison, but in the end, I found that the Luofu did not possess what I was looking for. It is through fear of punishment that I am choosing to surrender. The galaxy is a vast place, but I am merely a wanderer. It would be silly of me to think that I could outrun the Alliance.
Merely a wanderer. You're too modest, Locha. Do I need to remind you of your actions at the Eternity Fortress and the Shroud Veil Star Zone? Or must I utter that tongue twister of a name?
Well, they don't call you the Divine Foresight for nothing, General.
You flatter me. Fortunately, I did my research, or this conversation would have been quite dry.
Seeing that you sense something is amiss, are you looking to defend me and clear my name of suspicion?
That is beyond my control. Attempting to undermine the Alliance is a grave crime. According to protocol, you are to be held on the Xianzhou Shuling for a joint trial before the Ten Lords Commission and the 7 Arbiter Generals. However, at present, you have the opportunity to enjoy the beautiful scenery of Scale Gorge Waterscape. It will be the last view of the Law Fu you ever lay eyes on.
She told me that the High Cloud Quintet once gathered and feasted here hundreds of years ago. The unparalleled sword techniques of your master, the mesmerizing cloud hymn magic of Imbibitor Lune Danfeng, the artful piloting skills of Bai Heng, the divine weapons crafted by the Juming artisan Ying Xing, and the unmatched stratagem of the General. The 5 of you vanquished evil from the world, creating legendary tales in your wake. Unfortunately, nothing lasts forever, and the High Cloud Quintet disbanded as each of you went your separate ways. You removed me from the shackling prison and decided to interrogate me here. But not for security purposes. You wish to discuss things that shouldn't be overheard. You wish to discuss the one person you've avoided mentioning up to now. Your master, Liu.
We can head out now.
Have you mistaken yourself for a tourist?
I would make a wonderful tourist. Lower your guard, young man. I have already surrendered myself to the Alliance, and I will keep my word. Imbibitor Lune, you must accompany me. I won't take no for an answer.
Lead the way.
Where should we start? Should we go to Stargazer Navalia first, or to the Artisanship Commission? So many memories are swirling inside my head. I can't get a grasp on any of them. When the people of the Xianzhou live to be...
How hard is it to choose a destination?
The young are the antidote. Stargaze.
If it's star skiffs you wanted to see, we could have headed to the Jade Gate.
Young man, have you ever heard of Bai Heng, the fox?
Bai Heng. Huh.
The star skiff won't hold much longer. High Elder, catch us before it falls apart!
Imbibitor Lune, if memories are returning to you.
I can't remember anything.
But you've learned how to lie. Well, that's all in the past now.
Huh? You mean the Foxian soul-soothing ceremony?
Yes, the sending off of a star skiff. It represents the voyage of the deceased. As for procuring a star skiff, I know they can be manufactured here.
I see. Follow me. I don't know anything about manufacturing star skiffs either. But getting these machines to work shouldn't be too hard. Careful. There's still Stellaron spirits lurking around.
Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them.
The fight is set.
Blade of Moonlight.
Receive divinity.
We shall take back what we lost.
Who goes there?
Lend me your strength.
Your end approaches. Bloom. The dead return! Savor it for me. This sword needs sharpening.
We've arrived. All ship production in Stargazer Navalia starts here. Just enter the command into the device. I remember now.
You like to read?
Hey, I don't read much, but the General forced me to finish a bunch of ancient volumes during my training.
That's right. Bai Hung was the one who wrote that travelogue.
It was actually really interesting. 90% of it was about starskiff crashes on different worlds. I remember thinking, how could an ace pilot crash land her starskiff so many times?
Indeed. Her luck always astonished us. Whenever she piloted a mission, you could almost guarantee a narrow escape from the job. Very few star skiffs she piloted were able to return to port in one piece. She also possessed an uncanny ability to predict future events. However, when it came to surviving, her fortunes were incredible. Luck is a type of strength, after all.
Ha! That'll do it. The Starskiff assembly line has been activated. The Starskiff will take shape and enter the skyport. Let's go wait for it there. It won't be long.
Thank you, young man.
See? The Starskiff is complete.
After being away from the Luofu for so long.
So, what happened to Bai Hung in the end?
In the end, I do not think the details are necessary. In Bibiter Lune, do you still remember the battle against Shuhu?
The Abundance Emanator, Shuhu, rallied a great army and attacked the Alliance. I read about it in the Shackling prison.
You seem to be interested in learning about your past life. Still, all of that was erased. After Shuhu attacked the borders, he disappeared without a trace. Let me refresh your memory. During that battle, Bai Hung, being the headstrong girl that she was, managed to exhaust the luck that was bestowed upon her by the Rainbow Arbiter. She charged ahead and shattered the enemy's defenses, allowing the Xianzhou soldiers to break through Shuhu's sanguinary abyss and awaken you from your dragon's delirium. For the Cloud Knights, giving up one's life on the battlefield is an honor. You couldn't accept that Bai Heng was gone. Instead of leaving her to eternal rest, you decided to... There is no need to respond, Imbibitor Lune. You... Bai Heng, I've brought your flagon. This was a gift handmade by him, though he never got the chance to give it to you in person. I'm sorry it took so long for me to find it. Only by bringing it to you will my nightmares be calmed. I will fulfill what you asked of me. I will keep my word, even if it requires me to cut down the stars in the sky. Let's go. The Artisanship Commission is next. Since the Arbor's resurrection, the land has been crawling with abomination.
The crisis happened too suddenly. All the craftsmen and apprentices fled.
Interesting. Stubborn beyond valuing his own life. That reminds me of an extremely arrogant acquaintance. If he were to see the chaos of the Artisanship Commission today, he would burst into laughter at the Xianzhou's incompetence.
What's that supposed to mean? What's wrong with saving your own life and waiting for the Cloud Knights to arrive?
And yet where were the Cloud Knights when danger was at the door? From what I heard, it was a group of Outworlders that came to the rescue.
The Luofu's delves are big places. Besides, some of the troops were deployed to the Yao Qing's campaign.
Young man, why don't we continue our previous contest?
You just want me to do all the work. You think—
You go on ahead this time.
Why did you send him away?
It is of no importance. But you and I haven't had a decent contest in ages.
I don't plan on fighting.
I'm not asking you to point your spear at me. Could it be that the abominations here aren't enough to motivate you? Even after your rebirth, your moves and techniques haven't changed one bit.
When I move, it's like
you never forgot.
To guard and defend! Crush them!
Come on already. What took you so long this time?
Don't get anxious, Imbibitor Lune. We have all the time in the world. This sphere still recognizes you as its master. Imbibitor Lune, do you know who crafted it for you?
it's been with me ever since my exile. I don't remember when I started wielding it.
Your end approaches. Merciful Medicus.
In lunar flame.
Bloom. Repay. Nothing major. The dead return!
A miracle.
Blade of Moon.
Failed to send you. Savor it for me.
Lend me your strength.
You can continue to convince yourself that you are merely the reincarnation of Dan Feng and have nothing to do with his sins. But you cannot run from combat, Dan Heng. Your combat is like smelting, purging the impurities with burning flames and exposing a person's true nature. Those are the words of the one who made Cloudpiercer for you. Do you remember? Out of all of us, you were the closest to him. It was strange, really, to see someone so arrogant get along with.
I'd rather leave this world in a blaze than live until the end of time. I will let all of the Xianzhou know that a brief moment of my life is worth more than their long and meaningless lives.
Yingxing.
You still remember his name. When he was but a child, he swore to take revenge on the abominations. When I first met him, he wasn't even as tall as my sword. But he was boasting about mastering all the crafts of the Artisanship Commission At first, I wasn't too fond of his defiant nature. But when we met again, he was able to craft weapons that astonished the Master. Unfortunately, the Alliance would never allow a short-life species to run the Artisanship Commission.
You didn't go easy just so I would get here first, did you?
Of course not. Your technique must have improved so much that I simply couldn't keep up with you.
So, are we here to commemorate your short-life species friend?
Eavesdropping is a bad habit. Besides, when did I ever say he was no longer in this world?
Even the cryocapsules wouldn't be able to extend the life expectancy of a short-life species for long. If
He transformed into a long-life species?
Correct. Such are the twists of destiny. Some people are born with unparalleled foresight and exceptional intelligence, but as smart as he was, he made the foolish attempt to use the flesh of the Abundance Emanator to aid Imbibitor Lunae in resurrecting his deceased companion. His stupidity turned him into a monster, cursed with immortality. His soul was shattered and became the evil that he hated most.
for an old friend, you don't seem to have that much pity.
I gave him a second chance. Does that not count?
What did you do to him?
He should have been eternally jailed in the shackling prison for his crimes. But I gave him a different kind of freedom. I took the shell that once held his soul and passed my sword techniques on to him. I let him die 100 deaths to remind him of the karma of his previous life. Afterward, I heard he was reborn and even gave himself a name. We've idled too long. Let's head to the Alchemy Commission.
As a follower of the Rainbow Arbiter, you have witnessed the catastrophe brought upon by the plague's author, General. Living beings turning into undying monsters, eventually used as sacrifices to the abundance. What do you think should be done to put an end to it, General?
The Alliance follows the Rainbow Arbiter's edict to continue ridding the world of evil, so that one day Yaoshi might be vanquished and the cycle of life and death restored.
Under the auspices of the Rainbow Arbiter, the faithful Cloud Knights continue the hunt. Their devotion and sacrifices are indeed commendable, but their devotedness has made them close-minded. Take me, for example. My powers originate from the abundance, yet my goals are aligned with the Alliance. The Hunt is not the only faction in the universe that wants Yaoshi dead. It is natural for short-life species to yearn for immortality. That is expected of any intelligent life form. To want to eliminate these thoughts would be equivalent to killing an eon. Such a goal is so impossible as to be laughable, to be honest. So, in order to sever Yaoshi's curse, one must look to the source for a different solution. Your master happened upon a revelation and returned from the Mara. She has traveled many worlds and discovered a solution.
I'm listening.
I apologize, General. I'm afraid the next move will have to be made on the Shu Ling.
As I expected. Your surrender is just the next step in your scheme. You wish to avail yourself of the Ten Lords' decree to enter Shu Ling and stand before the 6 generals, even the Marshal. That is your true agenda. And the purpose of the contents of your coffin.
General, you said it yourself. This is beyond your control. It is the law of the Alliance. We cannot deviate from it.
Splendid, well done. This was a spectacular move.
You've changed, Jingyuan. The man I knew would never have admitted he was bested.
Order's already been restored to the Alchemy Commission.
I heard the healer lady is capable of curing all diseases. I'm here for the same reason anyone would be. For patience, young man. We're not far from Scale Gorge waterscape.
Dunhung, what a surprise! Are you not feeling well? Please.
Miss Bailu. She's here for a consultation.
Oh, I see. Are you here for your eyes? Or is it something else?
My eyes are fine. I cover them to avoid seeing that which reminds me of the past and riles my inner demons. My thoughts have been disordered lately, and I...
Those symptoms don't sound... who cares? The healers of the Alchemy Commission don't get to pick and choose their patients. Give me your hand. We'll start... your hand! It's freezing! Please wait. Dunhung, can I speak to you for a minute? Your friend here has a very peculiar condition. Her pulse is extremely faint. Normally...
There's no cure.
Let the healer make the professional diagnosis. Your friend's situation is unique. She looks healthy, but her hands are cold as ice. I've never seen anything like it. With more...
She's a criminal. That's up to the Cloud Knights and the Ten Lords Commission.
Oh, talk about not judging a book by its cover. She looks so kind and elegant. How could she... I'll do my best. No matter what I administer, she's gonna need to drink a ton of warm water from this point on. Come with me. I'll prescribe her some soul-returning vitality infusion. I'm sorry. Ever since the disciples of Sanctus Medicus were expelled, things have been a mess around here. Dunhung, you mind coming with me to retrieve my medicine?
Are you in trouble, Dragon Lady? I'll come along as well.
No. No trouble at all.
It's no bother. A little walk will do me good.
Ah. I can smell the herbs. It's around... Hey! Give me back my medicine box! That thing runs so fast! Don't let it get away! There's an even bigger monster protecting this one!
Careful.
Allow me to eliminate these obstacles, Dragon Lady.
Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them.
In lunar flame.
Your end approaches.
Blade of moonlight.
So this is why your hands are so cold! This cold isn't something normal flesh could withstand!
Receive divinity.
Fail to sense.
Repay. The dead return!
In lunar flame. Blade of moonlight.
All right, let me make sure nothing's missing. Excellent. The calming valerian and chi strengthening infusions are here. Let's head back. Never make a patient wait too long. Apologies again for the delay.
Very well. The fate of a long-life species is inevitable.
You're Mara-struck? I don't see the symptoms in you at all. You don't seem to have any of that.
I made a deal that allowed me to retain what life I had left in me. I may be sane, and yet I still have many unfulfilled wishes. And
I see. So you've learned to live with your illness. I can't help much with issues of the spirit, but the...
Really? How unfortunate. My hatred overshadows my other emotions. All I have left are the sword in my hand and my hatred of the path. Thank you for your advice, Dragon Lady. Meeting you has provided more healing than any kind of medicine or remedy. By the way, among those you've treated in recent days, did you notice a person in bandages?
Bandages? That's a vague description, you know.
The person I'm inquiring about is tall, with a serious expression.
Oh, yes! He must have suffered some kind of sword wound. He had a strong scent of blood, though from the way he behaved, it must have been fairly minor. He didn't even take...
He's probably looking for a different kind of medicine. Well then, it would seem that everything is in place. Let's go. Take this man away. This does not involve him.
Yanqing.
And so, everyone is present. I never thought the High Cloud Quintet would be able to... If I remember correctly, the 5 of us made a promise here 7 centuries ago. We promised that no matter what happened, how sad that Scale Gorge waterscape remains empty while the world continues to turn. Some of us have been reborn, while others were denied death. Some have become criminals, while others can no longer fulfill their promises. And soon, I will be shackled and tried. This will be the last you see of me. This is why I sent out the invitations before departing, hoping that everyone would be gathered here for my final farewell. Of 5 people, 3 must pay a price. Imbibitor Lunae, the chief culprit, chose to use the transmutation arcanum as a means of resurrection, begetting terrible transformation and great calamity in the process. He dishonored the name of the fallen. Ying Sing, the accomplice, arrogant and oblivious, used the flesh of the Abundance Emanator to assist Imbibitor Lunae in his evil. He fell, becoming an immortal abomination. As for Jingliu, the sinner, she succumbed to Mara, slaughtered her people, and abandoned her oath. Now it is time we pay for what we have done. Dan Heng, you can never escape the shadow of Imbibitor Lunae. He is your origin, and his sins will accompany you in your path forward. Blade, what a fitting name. In the remainder of your infinite life, you will experience only murder and your own death. And I will face the punishment of the Alliance and suffer an eternal punishment before paying an even worse price. That is the only way to keep the memory of the pain of the past from fading away. High Cloud Quintet, it is time to say goodbye. A wineless gathering. Jing Yuan, is it not time you sent me to the Shuling?
The laws of the Alliance cannot be subject to change. Unfortunately, your next stop will be the Yuche. I reported everything to the Marshal, and the Seer strategist just so happened to take an interest in the case. They set up a Deca-light reflection barrier in hopes of meeting the two of you beforehand.
Jing Yuan, you haven't changed at all. But in the end, whether it be you, me, the Cloud Knights, or the generals of the Rainbow Arbiter, no matter, I will deviate if you insist.
Then I shall see this gamble through.
Wait. Jingliu, before you leave, you still owe me my due.
I have tried. Besides inflicting more wounds on your body, there is nothing else I can do for you. The immortality that you possess is not something that can be dealt with so easily. I am sure Destiny's Slave already told you that the swords of mortals are incapable of killing someone with the flesh of an emanator.
He did. But you still owe me the attempt.
I told you when I taught you the way of the sword. I am uninterested in drawing my blade against someone who does not long for life.
You will only draw against an opponent. Jingliu, allow me to repay you for your teachings.
Savor the moment. I will deliver you a brief moment of death. We were here once, 700 years ago. Laughing, sparring, and thinking about the future. Their faces still linger before my eyes, like a bygone dream. I thought those joyful days would flow indefinitely before us, like a Xianzhou lifetime. Yet, dreams will eventually fade like clouds from the sky.
A familiar feeling. Almost as if we've returned to my first sword lesson. You used the sword Insing crafted, and pierced, sliced, and impaled me time and time again. The swordplay used to slay our enemies of old is still engraved on this despicable shell. All I can do is watch my flesh become severed, healed, and restored. It's as if they're saying,
Why?
Why did you and Imbibitor Lune commit such an unforgivable sin? I know that you have no interest in my answer. Which is why I asked the question as you looked me straight in the eye. I've asked myself that same question infinite times, but was never able to find the answer. Why? Why is it that only the abominations can return time and time again? Why does someone like her have to be buried, burned to ash, and eventually forgotten? Why? In the end, you unleashed the final piercing blow and left both me and the sword in the withered grave. The miraculous thing is that in my brief moment of death, all the pain went away. Like when we drink to drown our sorrows.
Imbibitor Lune.
Once this gathering ends, I will return to the Express to continue my journey.
The Express won't be able to carry you forever. I did think about giving up on revenge and letting go of everything when I fled the Luofu years ago. The memories of what I did when I was Mara-struck are deeply rooted. Since I am unable to rid myself of them, maybe when I witness the fall of the abundance, you and Ying Sing will find true release. Goodbye, Imbibitor Lune.
Dan Heng, the General wants me to forget about everything I saw today. I understand. I have some close friends of my own in the Cloud Knights. Goodbye for now. Done.
She's gone. All this must have seemed like a silly performance to someone newly reborn. But I am unable to prevent my old friends from taking sides against one another. Who you are is a question that only you can find the answer to. Even if the Preceptor's interference denied you a true rebirth. Yes. It has been a long day for you, Dan Heng.
she couldn't do it with her sword either. She still couldn't do it. We have no choice but to continue the pursuit. This is the price the two of us must pay.
I will see it through.
Elio's script still requires you to stay alive. For now. I don't mind prolonging my vengeance. It might be more interesting that way.